Hey, welcome back to the Crazy J Podcast Show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time to talk about the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys recap on Thursday night football that was on Amazon last week. Uh, it is time to talk about this game. It was a defensive game for Detroit. It's something that Dan Campbell has been wanting to see and more of. We didn't have a lot of takeaways in the previous weeks and here ago, but we had 5 turnovers. We had 5 sacks and 1 fumble and 1 interception. And I think this describes a Detroit Lions toughness that they lost against the Green Bay Packers. They didn't get down, they got back up, and they did what Dan Campbell wanted them to do. They needed turnovers, they needed something more to turn the team around, to make it easier for Jared Goff and the offense to run their offense. Give them a shortened field as more and more. Obviously, we need more of that every week. To go 80 yards and everything else with it every time, it takes a lot of toll on your offense. If you don't gain any points, it becomes a big struggle. Even if you have to kick field goals, it's a plus and minus issue, especially if you're in the Dan Campbell era where you go for fourth downs and you go for to actually get a touchdown at the end of those fourth down conversions. I will say though, folks, Dan Campbell was more impressive of playing calls of this game, not because the team won 44-30. It's probably more because Dan Campbell decided to punt the ball twice. The first time he punted the ball was in the first quarter. The ball was on Detroit's 48-yard line, and it was usually analytical. People would say you go for it. Dan Campbell uh, ref, referred to punting the ball, and he basically made it easier on his team. And what I mean by that is that he didn't set up the team to fail. He allowed the team to play the game out. And what I mean by that is that you allow the game come to you, no, not go to the game. So you allow the moments of the key moments of the game happen and not forced to happen, and that's very cute on that for Dan Campbell. The second time he punted the ball was on Detroit's 29, and it was in the second quarter with into in 9 minutes left in the game. That's a crucial part for Dan Campbell. Of course, a lot of people say, well, no givens that you punt the ball on your own 29-yard line. But in the past, Dan Campbell has gone on fourth down in Detroit's own end of the field, which is never a good thing. But Dan Campbell, it seems to be very learning from his mistakes, allowing the players to make things happen, not force things happen because you don't make a fourth down conversion and then the defense is trying to make up the difference of what the play call should have been a punt, but he allowed the defense to relax, allowed the defense to see the whole field, and that's how we got those 5 turnovers. Obviously, we have the end of the game uh, uh, interception by DJ Reed, which was the end of the game for Detroit. We ended the game with a great play by a young player, DJ Reed, who's made a couple mistakes with penalties and so on and so forth, but he made up the difference and everything else for it. Um, you know what? I'm gonna go through the stats of the game. For example, the defense. Uh, Prescott got lucky that they didn't press him on the uh, safety call that Jack Campbell, which is another key player for this team, is this guy, Jack Campbell. And Jack Campbell, he's a middle linebacker. He is a phenomenal player. He just fits that aura of the team. He's got football smarts. He's got football instincts. He's got everything that you need in a linebacker. He doesn't need to be second guessing anything. He pursues to the ball. He can make a solo tackle, and then he can force a fumble, as he did uh, in the second quarter. I think it was in the second quarter that he forced a fumble and on Ferguson of of the Dallas Cowboys, and he just punched the ball out. He just knows football, and this is something that's very he's got a high IQ for football, and this is something that Detroit has always had in a Chris Spielman, but he didn't always have the rest of the the rest of the team put together. Especially, we have always struggled with safeties and cornerbacks in the past. But going on to this other guy, Mister uh, Al-Quadin Muhammad, he had 3 sacks. He had and I think the third sack that they gave him, or party gave him, was the one with Jack Campbell sacking um, Prescott in the end zone, which was supposed to be a safety. So this young man, well, he's not really young, he's an 8th year veteran, I believe, Muhammad. We needed someone like that for Detroit to take relief from Agent Hutchinson. And Aiden Hutchinson can't do everything. He just cannot do anything. I sometimes think he doesn't have enough of that muscle mass push in the NFL. And this guy, Muhammad, has that extra muscle. He just, by looking at him, he just has it. There's no question about it. Uh, this is a key instrumental player that Detroit re-signed last year, and this is a type of guy that you're gonna want to keep and hold on to him, because you can't obviously have Aiden Hutchinson do everything for you. Aiden Hutchinson will give you that pressure quarterback, get the quarterback out of the pocket, and then the linebackers and the safeties like Branch would come in and help along with the tackles of the quarterback or even the running back in those situations. But Muhammad, what a great job he did. Um, we should talk about uh, these two guys. We got Gibbs and we got Montgomery. I was saying this in the past that, especially the last game against Green Bay, we kind of ran away from Montgomery. We didn't. He didn't seem to be in the game, or mentally or physically, but in this game, they kind of changed the playbook a little bit. They went back to old school. They went back to balancing the forces. You got speed, and then you got the muscle of Montgomery. Now, why is this so important for Detroit Lions? Is because if you have to have all your cylinders working, you have to have your gaskets, you have to have your pistons involved in the motor of the car. You have to have the exhaust, which is the defense. You have to have everything involved. And Montgomery is just that important as much as Gibbs is. Yes, Gibbs is a speedy rundown. He's very much more entertaining to watch. He's got maybe a little extra oomphs about his moves a little bit. But Montgomery's old school. He's going to go down north and south. He's going to get you the hard yards. He's going to break that 35-yard touchdown that he did against Dallas. And those little things like that come to big play. It's a big play for Detroit. And it probably was not expected from Montgomery as it is for Gibbs. But that balances the field. That helps Gibbs out as well, because now Gibbs feels like he doesn't have to do everything either in the backfield. Now, let's be honest. Uh, uh, everything I'm saying right now is what I think what's happening in Detroit is that if you get everyone involved, you're gonna make things happen. And I obviously Detroit in the third quarter had a interception in the beginning of the third quarter that Dallas Cowboys had, and it was a key play in shortened fields for Detroit. It helped the defense. It kept the defense out there from not being played too much. It gave them rest. It gave them the okay sign to hey, we're doing our job, and now we need to rely on the offense to finish things up. And Isaac Tesla caught a 12-yard touchdown from Jared Goff. So those are the things that you kind of want to see. Uh, if you look at the stats in reality, Jared Goff had 25 for 34, 309 total yards. Um, he was sacked once. He gave up a field goal for that. One with one touchdown. David Montgomery, 6 carries, 60 yards, one touchdown for a 35-yard line. Jahmyr Gibbs, 12 carries, 43 yards. So there's your 100 yards. Now, it's not important that Jahmyr Gibbs gets 130 yards every time or 150, and it's not important that David Montgomery gets uh, 70 or 80 yards. It's about committee, right? And then you also had one run with Jameson Williams for 7 yards, almost a end zone touchdown, but he ran out of bounds. If you look at the wide receivers, you had Jameson Williams with 7 receptions. I think the blessing for Jameson Williams is the fact that St. Brown was hurt against Green Bay, and I really think that if you look at that game, it kind of gave Jameson Williams an idea of how to run inside the lanes, not just run and gun. He it kind of opened the field up for him to understand where the pockets were to be sitting on when the defense is playing zone, understanding where players are always certain defenses are always playing certain part uh, of the field against them. So Jameson Williams, 96 yards, 29 for his longest, 9 targets. Amon St. Brown. It was a great thing to see Amon St. Brown in the first quarter catching receptions. I like the idea that they didn't sit on him so much that they threw the ball to him 12 or 15 times, and out of those 12, 15 times, he dropped 5 of them. That's not important. The important thing is he caught 6, target 9. Uh, Longest for Amon St. Brown was 37 yards. And Jahmyr Gibbs, receptions, 7 receptions, 77 yards, 7 targets. So he caught all his targets. Everything he was thrown to was right in the middle of the field where that zone, it's kind of where the linebackers kind of just uh, pursue out to where the wide receivers are. Isaac Tesla had 2 receptions, 20 yards. The longest one was the 12-yard touchdown that he caught. David Montgomery had 1 reception, 13 yards, and one target, 13. Obviously, is his longest. Uh, let's talk about the defense. Brian Branch. Unfortunately for him, he might have torn an Achilles or something going on his leg. He might be out the rest of the year. He did recover a fumble that I think DJ Reed forced, or was it Brian, or was it Jack Campbell forced? Um, but uh, but moving on, Jack Campbell probably like what I said before. Jack Campbell. Oops, wait, what am I doing? Jack Campbell. There you go. Jack Campbell. Let's really look at him. He's got 12 total tackles, solo 6 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble. DJ Reed, 8 total tackles, um, 8 solo tackles, and he basically did what you want him to do. So moving on from that, Avante Maddox, 8 solo tackles, 6 solo, 8 total tackles. I'm getting a little far uh, ahead of myself. Alex Ezzaloni, 7 total tackles. 4 of them are solo. Uh, Again, we got Al-Quadin Muhammad, 3 total tackles, uh, 3 solid sacks, um, just and 3 forced fumbles. So This is the this is the guy that you really want on your. I mean, this guy. You know, he's just extra muscle that we needed for Detroit. Detroit really needed him to do something that we have been searching for to help Aiden Hutchinson. So this is something that's very acute about him. Uh, Key about him. I can't speak today, but there you have it, folks. I will. You know, the first half for Detroit had 20 points. Let's go. Detroit had 20 points. Goff had 13 for 21. Gibbs had 3 carries, 18 yards, um, 63 yards receptions. Montgomery had that 1 carry for 35 yards touchdown. Uh, Jack Campbell forced fumble on Ferguson. Dallas 9 points, 16 for 21 for Prescott, 154 yards in total. CC Lamb, 5 reception, 89 yards in the first half. He did get injured in the end zone. Hit his head in the back. Well, his helmet hit first in the back of the head of the ground. So I did not look up his results of his injury. He might be concussion protocol for a week or two. But Detroit's defense just came through. Um, I will I will leave it at that. If you like this podcast, you enjoy the show, come and join me. Give me some pointers. Disagree, agree with what I'm speaking of. You can find me on Spotify, Apple, and the Patreon. Of course, on YouTube. So, cheers for Detroit.